Another interesting edition of the program, Issues of the Moment, reaching you live from television, Nigeria, here in Abuja. My name is Ntem Ekpan. Of course, you know that at every point in our national life, there are issues that will pop up at every moment. And so, for us, right about this time, the issue of the moment is the political environment where the president has said, I'm going to run for a second term. And because of that singular declaration, a lot of issues have arisen from the agricultural sector, from the health sector, the education, with some people saying, have you done enough to deserve a second term? Others are saying, fine, you've done enough. So today on our program, I'm going to be having the National Chairman of Agro Dealers Association of Nigeria in the person of Kabiru Umar Farah joining me on the program. Good to have you on the program. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on the program.
Amazing. Now, I want to start from your association.
Yes.
One of the ministries, one of the areas where the President Muhammadu Buhari government has said we've done well is the agricultural sector. Yeah. Abu Dhabi has come a long time to say that we've done this, there's ban on importation, we now have rice production and all of that. Let's come from your angle of agro dealers. What's your impression about what has been happening, in the sector since this administration came on board?
Yeah, thank you very much. The agricultural sector has once again experienced another development. The last administration did well in the agricultural sector, which is a well-known fact, and that is why the former Minister of Agriculture was assisted by this administration to make sure he become the President African Development Bank based on his contribution in agricultural sector. Mm-hmm. Now, when Audiobe came on board, there are three visible programs. One is the Anko Boros, sponsored by TVN, which means farmers, especially rice farmers, to produce more rice for the country. This is targeted to reduce importation of rice, which is taking much of our foreign reserve. And then the other program is that fertilizer was going at a very exorbitant price in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari, under his own initiative, decided to create an enabling environment for the fertilizer to be distributed in this country at affordable price, which means the Ministry of Agriculture have already made their research and they recommended what type of fertilizer need to go to our soil. And eventually they recommended 2010, which is an NPK blend. And that NPK blend ordinarily goes for 7, 8, sometimes 10,000 naira in the market. But with the presidential initiative on fertilizer, it is now controlled at 5,500 nationwide. Some blenders, they've not been blending. Some companies were closed down, they were activated. With the assistance of Morocco government, we are able to get raw materials that is needed for this blending. And farmers can beat their chest that price, whether produced by federal government or open market, has not gone as it used to go before. By this time, fertilizer should be around 10,000, 12,000 naira. But as I speak to you now, urea, NPK, whether foreign or blended in Nigeria, still does not go beyond 6,500, which is good thing for Nigerian government. The issue sometimes is not to maybe to have media to tell Nigerians what is happening. Because if you don't know what is happening, you will not appreciate what has been done. We are hoping that the minister, in his wisdom, will try to reach the farmers because the farmers need help. There's nowhere in the world where farmers are not assisted in terms of aiding, giving subsidy to farming. In Nigerian context, though there are other programs the minister is carrying on chemicals and rural road to make sure to help farmers have access to the road to bring their farm input out to the main road. But on the fertilizer, chemicals, and improved seed, we still need to improve on that because, like I said, when they come to power, this is almost 3 years. They've only done one program out of that, the one they inherited. Mm-hmm. So recently, minister said they are coming with the revised name of that program, but it's not the name that matters. It's the farmers to get what they need to have in their hand to produce. Yeah. Because the chunk of Nigerian GDP is assisted by the poor farmers because they are not hungry. They are farming to keep themselves happy, and that keeps the economy going. What they are producing to sustain themselves, no government can handle that.
I wanted to take you on the fact that you said you want a situation where what is meant for the farmers goes to the hands of the farmers.
Yeah.
Now, there's been this argument that the fertilizer you mentioned earlier on and some other seedlings that are meant to go directly to farmers are being hoarded by politicians and shared among people who do not go directly to the farm. Where you see politicians taking this stuff and, of course, sending them to their own cronies.
You see, Nigeria is a complex society. But that's why I said the media, they are not helping the matters most. Because the Anchor Boros is going through Rice Farmers Association, Wheat Farmers Association, Maize Association. All these programs are being supported by TVN with a huge amount of money, 40, 50, 70 billion naira. For you to get a revolving money kept aside by this government, that when you borrow, after farming season 1, 2, you pay back so that another farmer will be given. But you see, the farmers, some of them might look like farmers, but they are not farmers. Instead of getting this incentive, this intervention to use it properly, they don't use it rightly. And sometimes in distribution also, you might have an issue because some state governors are participating. They are part of the program. So we cannot say clearly where the issue is. But then there's a program by government and they are spending money to make sure they help the farmers in the country to assess inputs to improve their farming season through CBN. And now we've done the rice, the NASA, which is another subsidiary of CBN, they are helping farmers to get what they get at single digit. And there's another Anchor Boros now going to take place for only maize farmers. This is all targeted at reducing our burden in importation of these items that we can produce in Nigeria. Only government with political will can do that. Because you have pressure from outside the countries.
And do you see this government have that kind of political will? Have they displayed it?
Yeah, they have the political will. Because when they say yes, they mean yes. What was not done right in the past administration was that we gave farmers inputs. The farmers paid their contribution. The last administration couldn't pay.
So the counterpart fund from government didn't come.
Yeah, that crippled our business. But when this government come in, their goodwill is that they accepted the liability. And they made about 50.8 billion naira worth of debt to our members. Right now, as I speak to you, they already offset 40.3 billion naira, remain 10.5 billion naira. We must agree, we must appreciate what the present government has done, particularly President Muhammadu Buhari. All liabilities, not just our own, he has approved it. Right from the beginning of the era of the democracy, 99, he has approved all. That is, you have to have political will to do that.
How has this translated to bettering the lives of the common man
now, let me explain to you. If you pay me my money, I go to the market. I told you, our business was almost crippling. But for the fact that this payment is done, we will be able to go and continue business in the market. And that is the center of the economy of the world. Now, I'm buying and selling, which means I can feed my family, which means other people depending on me, their own business too, will grow. During this e-wallet, in every center you have created job more than 15 people create job created in every center, and you have more than 3,000 centers in the country. So by implication, it has become important that to mention that we as agro dealers in Nigeria, we are appreciating the present administration for at least taking care of our problem, which is our debt. They paid more than 70%. Out of 50.8 billion they made, it remain only 10 billion naira now. And that's why I'm in Abuja right now to get the balance payment. Now, the administration has also done well, like I told you. When you look at the Anchor Boros, when you look at the fertilizer presidential initiative on fertilizer, when you look at the tremendous effort the present minister is making in terms of getting our debt paid, because I can quote him. Now, why he didn't do much program on our own side to distribute to farmers is because he made debt, which he doesn't have the wizard to pay. Now, he cannot increase the debt if he doesn't pay us our money, which is also only a good administration would think of that. Now, he's paying us. He's almost finished paying us. Now, we wait to see the next program because the farmers are waiting for the government to also, because we are used to this subsidy. And the subsidy can also be, because there is improvement in every sector. There's improvement in the way and manner we handle farmers in this country. In the past, it is just corruption. federal government will subsidize fertilizers and chemicals to state government. The state government will also further subsidize the same fertilizer to farmers. But eventually, the farmers don't see these fertilizers. There's allocation to many big shots. And you go to the open market and buy a normal price.
So what's the guarantee that it's not going to play
But
out
the
in
e-wallet-
this
The
system?
e-wallet they made, if they improve on that, which they did last year, is that every farmer in every locality is registered. Once you are registered, you get alert. That's the meaning of e-wallet. Once you get alert, you go to your center. You take how many? If they say 4 bags for you, out of the 4 bags, the money is about 40,000. You pay 20,000 and pick your 4 bags. At least it's no longer 1 bag for 20 farmers to share, because somebody has taken the remaining. It has to be on system, and when you are distributing to farmers under e-wallet, the alert must be seen in Abuja from every location in the country.
Now, from the distribution so far that you've done in terms of these feeds and all you do, what has been the major challenge, and what modalities have you put in place to ensure that there is a straight line of distribution as a channel to the appropriate quarters?
You see, this program that we distribute farm inputs to farmers,
Yes.
was created by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. And in every local government, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 centers. Now, those centers are meant to be developed to become a market on its own, because the subsidy is not a permanent thing. It is hoped that one day the subsidy will not be there, but the market should be there. And there should be also a control where every input supplied to Nigerian farmers, the source must be identified because of quality issue. You need to know who supplied this chemical. You need to know who this urea, especially there is security issue with the urea because of the terrorists. They are using it for making their local bomb. So you need to know if urea left Port Harcourt, where was the destination? You need to know who collected that urea.
And do you have those channels of communication and modalities to make sure that they don't go to the wrong hands?
If your product is leaving any of these 2 major companies that they are only producers of urea in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, there is name, definition, and there's attachment later from the Office of the National Security Advisor where it has been approved that you are taking this product to social place. And anywhere they sold that product, if there is no backing of the letter, that product can be arrested. At least we are reaching somewhere. And thank God that the peace is returning to this country peacefully.
Now let's look at how can farmers who do not have access to this right now, what are those modalities they need to, what are the things they need to do in order to benefit from these inputs?
Like I said, the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative has solved a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Because whether you are in that program of the intervention or not, now you have product, you have fertilizer that you can buy at affordable price, 5,500. There's whistleblower number on each bag. If you are buying above 5,500, you call that number. And thank God, because it is produced in quantity, because it's economics. Even when you say don't sell below this price, and at the end of the day, the product is not available, there's no way you can control the market price. But it is available. It is everywhere. And that means the price can be contained at 5,500 everywhere in the country.
I'm going to take a short break, and when we come back, a bit of the political angle of what is happening right now. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Prince David Adetunji Adeyeye, known as DAA. I am a lawyer and an energy specialist. I live and work here in FCT, Abuja. I am running for the House of Representatives for Amak Buhari Federal Constituency for the good people of FCT under the platform of Young Progressive Party. I am running because I believe in legislative agenda for community development. I wanted a community that is responsive, that is supporting and creating social infrastructure and amenities for our children and young people to be able to compete globally. I am encouraging all that is out there to go there and get a PVC and ensure that you vote. Election does matter, and this election, it's important that we elect people that are good, that are going to represent you. Support me as the House of Representative candidate for Young Progressive Party for Amak Buhari Federal Constituency. Thank you for your support.
Young Progressive Party. Service to the people.
Welcome back. It's still Issues of the Moment on Television Nigerian, and I am Nten Ekpan. If you're just joining us, my guest today is Kabiru Umar Farah. He's the national chairman of Agro Dealers Association of Nigeria. We've talked a lot about what they do in that business. Now, let's come back to the issue right now in Nigeria is politics. The atmosphere is charged. APC's convention is supposed to hold, they have held their local government congresses. They were supposed to have the national convention, but because of the Ramadan, it's been shifted and all of that. And President has come and said, I need a second term. A lot of people have said, no, sir, I think you've done enough for this country. As a military head of state, you've had one term, or you have one term as a civilian president. You should go and have your deserved rest, because age is not by your side, and a whole lot of issues being put up to say, okay, the living conditions has become more harsh and difficult. That's why you need not seek another term. Just go and rest. From the perspective of agro dealers, from what you said, do you think, or are you of the opinion that we should have another Buhari presidency come 2019?
Now, you cannot stop individual expressing their opinion. That's what is enshrined in the Constitution. Every human being can express his opinion. So you cannot deny that. And we are so lucky in this country that you can say whatever you want to say under this administration and nothing happened to you. That's one of the quality of the democracy under Buhari administration.
But the Dino Melaye issue does not say that, because why people are saying that he's haunted is because he's talks.
Are you currently today that Dino Melaye court freed him?
Yeah, they have freed him on a bail of 10 million.
Now, you see, when you didn't touch people's property, you cannot be accused of touching people's property. Now, let's look at it. Like I said, age is not an issue, because we know what happened in Malaysia. 92-year-old man, after leaving the administration for almost 12 years, the people say they want him back, and he won. Now, the question is, I had a discussion with so many people on the road, and the question is, if you don't like Buhari, do you have somebody like Buhari that can replace Buhari? Maybe people don't know the quality of the man that is sitting there.
Are you of the opinion that there's no other person who has the same qualities or better qualities than him?
That's what I'm saying. Let us see one that we can support. Because eventually one day Buhari will not even be alive. There must be somebody to take us to the next level. But as it is now, who is having the right quality, the right mindset more than Buhari that we can support? Let me tell you, when Buhari was a governor in Maiduguri, he was the only governor then that can queue up to collect his salary in the bank. Many people don't know that. This Buhari is the same Buhari that when other ex-presidents are collecting huge amount of money as pension, he refused to collect. The same Buhari that when he became the president of this country, under this dispensation, with his bias, they decided to collect half salary. Even this money, they are legal to them. That means, that's to tell you that even in Nigeria today, anywhere you go, nobody can raise finger to Buhari and say it's a thief. That is a fact. Now, what we are saying, we need somebody to take Nigeria to the next level. But who is that person? Who is that person that is not a thief? Who is that person that will come out today that we cannot raise fingers to him? That he has not taken Nigerian money out, either in Dubai or outside the country or in his house.
Now, nobody disputes this fact.
That is one fact.
Okay.
Now, the second fact is that who has the political will to stop the corruption that we are talking about today? At least the past administration initiated the single account, but they didn't have the political will to implement. When Buhari came, implemented it, because he's not afraid of anybody.
That's because they were looking at the economic implication. When TSA was implemented, there were job losses in sectors, especially in the banking sector. So that was why they wanted to implement it step by step.
Nigeria was going negatively in every aspect of life. Everything has to do with corruption. You cannot get employment without corruption. You cannot be anybody in this country without corruption. You cannot, even the money we are talking about, a particular ministry will have 10 to 15 accounts where Nigerian money is stashed, and banks are enjoying that corruption. Now, if you don't start the right thing, when are you going to start it? And you need somebody I can vividly quote the former Minister of Finance, Ngozi. Say because they lack political will to do the right thing. Now, if we have somebody who has the political will now to do the right thing, the only accusation to Buhari's administration, you can say some people are also bad around him. He is not bad. At least we are -1 problem. Number one, president, and number two, you cannot raise accusing fingers on them that they are taking your money. We are dealing with human beings. You cannot be 100% perfect. Nobody is saying that Buhari is a messiah, is a prophet, but at least we need to build our Nigeria from somewhere to another level.
Exactly. Now the point some people are making is his integrity is at stake. I mean, it's intact.
It's untouched.
Now we agree with you.
Yeah.
Fight corruption. We agree with you. But the idea is, how has all of this translated to better lives for the common Nigerians? Because people are saying life is now more difficult than it used to be. That's the perspective a lot of people are coming
That is the key
from.
ingredient for making the correct decision. Because when you want to correct a bad decision, so many people, including the good people, will suffer. There's no correction you will do in the world, no history, no books that somebody will not suffer. And that is, we are bearing what we've been enjoying in the past, which was wrong. It was completely wrong. We are going in the different wrong direction. You come to Abuja, Koboles, after 2-3 months, you are a billionaire in your village. And the villagers will be raising hand for you. Not knowing it's their money. You cannot do project, you cannot do development. Why? Because there are few people that have access to the government and they are siphoning the whole economy. It is this Abuja that when you come with Okada, after 6 months, you are lucky. You go back with a private airline. What is key to President Muhammadu Buhari is his understanding and following the due process and obeying the Nigerian constitution. When he came to power, he presented a bill to the National Assembly to try corrupt people. Up to now, that corrupt bill has not seen the day of light. National Assembly have not even touched it. Now, to tell you that Buhari made people in government, 80%, 90% of the people administrating the government, Buhari made them. And he made them with their problems. Changing them will be difficult. Just to give you, most of the board of directors, Buhari made them. They were appointed by PDP. Most of the key positions in the country, he made them there. Apart from the ministers he appointed, who Buhari put there. Apart from the few officers. So we are talking about just 1% of people that Buhari appointed. There are a lot of people sabotaging the government because even though they are part of the administration, they are part of the political party that is ruling. They come from a long way. They come a long way from where we don't want. And you know, in politics, the good, the bad, the ugly, they are all carried along. Mm-hmm. Each one is important in politics. But it is now how you devise means to refocus the position of the country and the political party. That matters. For example, now, in the past, convention, how much money do you think will be spent in this country? And whose money are spent for the convention? Party primaries. Now, who has that money to play around? If you play with that money, we ask you, where did you get the money? That is key for a foreman now. Because you cannot bring billions, you want to use it to get votes. We ask you where you get the billions. And that's fair enough. It's enough to say we are saluting Muhammadu Buhari. Okay,
why we as we draw close to the end of the program, just yesterday, the new PDP, excuse me, that were influential to Buhari's victory in 2015. The clique of Amechi and other governors who left PDP then from the new PDP and collapsed into APC. They have given him an ultimatum and said that you haven't treated us well, even when we worked for you to become the president. They're giving him an ultimatum to say, this is what we need you to do. Come to the table, discuss with us. If not, you may not have our support for 2019. And then El-Rufai came up yesterday evening to just say that whether the new PDP who came and joined APC later supports Buhari or not, Buhari will win election. But those were the people who contributed to Jonathan failing in 2015. Do you think that Buhari is not making that same mistake of, if you don't answer these people, you might not get re-elected?
The cases are two different cases. Buhari and Jonathan administration are two different cases. This is a person with accusing fingers of corruption, legalizing corruption. This is somebody that you agree just now that integrity of Buhari cannot be touched. That is one. Two, allow the political setting in this country. It's not something like American setting. When you are a Democrat, you are a Democrat. When you are a Republican, you are a Republican. Here is interest. Anybody that believes that in this party, my interest will not be taken care of, is not looking at the interest of the country. It's looking at personal interest. If my interest will not be protected in this party, I'll jump to another party. That means there's no seriousness in terms of what we do to develop Nigeria. So in the next few months, you will see a lot of movement from APC to other parties, from other parties to APC. And that is why we are comfortable, because as you are leaving, some people are joining.
As we leave, what's a final take? What's a final word as it concerns 2019 and other indices in the country, as we know, in the build up to the election year?
We believe that some good fortune will come to Nigeria. All this hardship is to tell you that good things is around the corner. Now, whatever is the weakness of this administration presently, we pray that it will be corrected in the next administration. In fact, between now and the election period, so many things will happen. I am praying and hoping that. So what we are praying is that Nigerians should understand who is their representative at the grassroots. It doesn't matter which party somebody belongs. You look at the quality of the person. You look at how much assistance has been given to that community. It's not just somebody who come with a bag of money. Though, like I told you, the bags of money will be disappearing this time. This time around 2019, there will not going to be much money around in the politics. Because if you touch the money, I'm very sure there are agencies looking for where is the money hiding before. So our prayer is that we're going to have a very healthy transition. We're going to have a very good representative, especially National Assembly, because there is a lot of accusing finger on the National Assembly. They're supposed to do things right. Instead of them wasting time on personal things that affect them, we should be seeing how they become part and parcel of Nigerian problem, how they will solve the problem. They should team up with the executive. Judiciary also, they are not helping matters in some cases. They're supposed to strictly follow the rules of engagement. Cases of corruption should not be delayed. If there are clear terms of this what happened, this Attorney General and the community of justice, they should put our heads together to make sure that Nigerian foreman is been having that comfort, having that confidence to restore, so that you know that a poor man and a rich man can go to the same court and get justice. So in Nigerian context, we want to see judiciary being judicial. We want to see the National Assembly working as a team with the judiciary and the executive arms, so that there will be total transformation in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the best countries in the world. There's nothing God is blessing any country that has not blessed Nigeria. Natural resources, human resources, mineral deposits, land, everything we have in this country. Our biggest problem is management. And the management theory, there's no management theory Nigerians don't know. If you go internationally, we are the best lecturers in the world. But our biggest problem is that we don't fear God. And we don't have institution that makes us fear that if we do the wrong thing, we'll be. In China, if you are a governor for 10, 20 years, and it was discovered that you amassed public fund, $20,000, you'll be prosecuted, you'll be hanged. We don't have such thing in this country, but very soon,
we will
get there, God willing.
Mr. Kabiru Farah is the chairman of Agro Association of Nigeria, and he has been speaking with us on the program issue of the moment. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And that's the much we'll take for today. Until we come your way again, keep watching television Nigeria. And I am Antan Ekban. Bye-bye.